And we are live on the Lakers Outsiders podcast. I am Harrison Fagan. I am joined by Ryan Kellapire of Silver Screen and Roll and Lakers Outsiders and Arizona Desert Swarm and his local paper. And just, is there anywhere that you're not working right now, Ryan?
There is one publication that I won't mention, but yes.
And then I also have, this is going to get really confusing for you guys, especially on iTunes. I also have Ryan Cole, who is a social media producer at Bleacher Report. So I'm just going to be calling them Ryan, and you're going to hear a different voice answer every time. But
you can just call
there
me
are
Ryan.
two people named Ryan here.
You can just call me Ryan Kelly. That's like my abbreviated name. I'm being serious too. Like before I even knew who Ryan Kelly was, I used to use that as an abbreviation. So just call me that.
Okay. Well, how are you doing then, Ryan?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to talk some Lakers, and hopefully just don't make so much of a fool of myself on here. That's all.
You can't possibly make more of a fool of yourself on here than we normally make of ourselves on our own. So
although
I think
Anthony is gone right now, so I mean someone's gonna have to take his place.
Yeah, I mean we do have the two respectable members of the Lakers Outsiders on here right now. So
yeah, I was looking forward to seeing Sakurai, but it's okay.
All right, so. Just briefly to start things off, I guess the big, well, not the biggest news of the day, but one of the big things to come out this morning was Kobe Bryant's NBA rank. People wanted to overreact to that, so ESPN ranked him 93rd. Out of however many, I think 474 NBA players.
Sounds about right.
Something like that. And so I was just curious. Too high, too low? Do you think the whole exercise is dumb? What are your opinions?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'd say that I think that to be honest, I don't know where Kobe should be ranked. I've had this stance on NBA rank for probably the last 2 or 3 years. I think once Kobe was at 25, I want to say 3 years ago, it was kind of just it felt like kind of a gimmick to try to draw some traction and some hype on social media. So I think the important thing, I guess, is to realize what the purpose of NBA rank is as a fan, if you're a Lakers fan, and not get too caught up in it. And they're more so trying to make projections about how good they think somebody will be that season versus your idea perception of where you see Kobe, in retrospect to every other star. So should be either around there or worse, to be honest, because he probably is not going to play a lot this year. So for me, it's not necessarily that big of a deal, personally.
Yeah, and then I honestly think they're almost trying to drum up controversy. You see them tweet about it, and it's a graphic of Kobe 19 years, X amount of All-Star selections,
5
this
rings.
many times first-team All-NBA. Where do we have him ranked?
Right.
And it's that they're almost trying to get people to be oh, look at all these accomplishments. Oh, but he's only 97. Get really mad about it. And please share our piece. So yeah, I don't know. Ryan Kelly, what do you think about it?
Honestly, I don't care about NBA rank, but to be honest, I don't think it's that bad of a ranking. I know a couple years ago, I think we talked about it before we got on the air, but you said he was ranked 37th last year or something, and he was way worse than the 37th best player in the league. So they actually overestimated it last year. So I don't know. I don't really put much stock into it. I think Kobe will be better than he was last year, so maybe he'll earn a ranking higher than 97, but I don't see it as ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's so hard to, I think, Ryan, you mentioned this. Ryan Cole, you mentioned this. It's so hard to rank him right now, and I think a lot of that is we don't know how many games he's going to play. We don't know how many minutes he's going to play. We don't know how much effort he's going to be able to give on defense, given how much energy he has left at this age. He's probably going to want to conserve most of it for offense, as we've seen the past couple of years. So it's really hard to rank where he actually is and how much value he has, because a lot of people don't necessarily pay attention to him as much on that other end of the floor where he's gambling for steals all the time and that kind of thing. And they're just like, oh, he averaged
Yeah,
22 points a game. He was the fifth leading scorer. He's way better than
Yeah.
37. It's like, yeah, well, he took like 25 shots a game to get there. And this feels blasphemous because he's like my favorite player of all time. But
Yeah, same.
97 is, I don't feel like right now it's like that unfair given that he's missed most of the last 3 years.
And
yeah.
oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay, I would say it's a tough spot for, I guess, us fans. And Kobe's also my favorite player of all time as well. But it's like sometimes you just gotta be realistic and understand like this is like his 20th season. He's not the player he was 5 years ago, and you gotta be realistic and just understand that this is the tail end of his career. So it's just the way cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah.
And was he the highest? I haven't looked at any of the rankings. Is he the highest ranked Laker on there?
I can't confirm that 100%, but I believe I saw someone say that.
Okay.
I know he's higher than
Hibbert was,
Jordan
I think
Clarkson.
Hibbert was 97th or something.
Where was Clarkson?
130.
Clarkson was not very high. I remember there was like a minor little uproar about how low he was a couple weeks ago.
Russell was higher than Clarkson. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
that was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a pedigree thing. I think a lot of people just that did. I can't blame them for not watching the Lakers last year, but probably think it was just like that looter and a riot thing. Somebody had to put up shots.
Yeah.
That we talked about a lot last year. That we tried to dispel a little bit because he was much more efficient than that. But
Right.
Yeah.
I also think people overestimate like how good a rookie point guard's gonna be. Like, I mean, the only one I can think of that really dominated when they first came in the league was like Lillard, and that's it.
Yeah,
Maybe-
and
maybe if you go back
he had
farther.
4 years in school.
Yeah, so
True. Curry had a
Um,
good rookie year.
Who?
Curry, Steph.
Yeah.
who's that guy?
Well, when Don Nelson played him, I remember that was a thing back then. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but anyway, so speaking of Russell and Clarkson and the team again, well, I already kind of gave my thoughts on the Silver Screen and Roll podcast last night on last night's game, so you guys can go check that out if you want. It's on silverscreenandroll.com. But I was going to ask you guys what kind of aspect of last night's game maybe stood out to you the most.
You can go first, Kels.
Okay. I think the thing I liked the most was Randle, the amount that he handled the ball, because I mean Kobe called him at the end of the game a combination of, or Lamar Odom and Zach Randolph's body, and it was just the way he handles the ball for his size. That's something that you have to take advantage of. You know, he can get a rebound, take it coast to coast, either finish himself or create for others, and like there's just really not that many power forwards in the game that can do that. And so the more I see of that, the more it's really encouraging.
I would like to agree with that. Randall obviously stood out. I think I said last night that it's fairly like obvious that when he establishes comfort, that he can be very, very good because of the dynamic that he brings to the table as a athletic power forward, kind of undersized, but he's quick, strong, and very nifty with the basketball. So that stood out as well for me. I would say for me also Hibbert was a bright spot. I think that his energy and was like something that sort of helped catapult a good stretch of basketball that the Lakers played, I would say, in the beginning of that third quarter. And I was excited and pretty pleased to see his effort.
Yeah, it's cliche, but he was kind of doing all the little things. It's that garbage man type role that a lot of people talk about, and he was like pretty good on defense too. And he's going to get his opportunities to show what he can do protecting the rim this year with turnstiles that are on this team. But actually, that kind of brings me to another point. What did you guys think of Clarkson and Randle on defense last night? I thought that they were better than well, Randle we don't really know better than last year, but better than advertised, and but in both games. And I thought that Clarkson's been pretty good on that end as well.
Yeah, I'll echo an agreement with that. Randle especially, he stood out to me. After Roy, I would say is like probably our next best defenders so far through 2 games. I like that. I mean, this is not by way of comparison, but I think he sort of has like Draymond Green in a sense where even though he's undersized, because of how athletic he is for his size and the physicality and strength that he brings with the lower center of gravity when he's defending power forwards. It helps him out because he's very strong. And being quick and able to shift and move his feet when he switches off to a guard, as we saw last night, it was a sequence where I believe he switched off on Trey Burke and like looked like he was like a small forward. As how quick he was moving his feet and made a great play and stole the ball and finished in transition. So has been impressing. The guard position is probably the point guard position, especially, is probably the hardest to defend in the league because of pick and roll, and so a year of understanding what you want to do in terms of that is going to like work a lot better for him this year.
And as far as my evaluation, I think the word I used for Clarkson was opportunistic. He's playing passing lanes well. He had that one play where he got the block from behind. I don't know who it was. I think it might have been like Favors or something. And then also for Randle, the play that Ryan mentioned, on Trey Burke, like I wrote in my recap yesterday, that reminded me of Meta World Peace, like a younger version of him. He stayed in front of a guy that was smaller than him, and then was like up in his face, and then used his quick hands to knock the ball loose. And then, I mean, Randle can actually dribble. Meta World Peace can't, so Randle was able to take it coast to coast. But
yeah, Meta World Peace can dribble off of his leg out of bounds.
That's still like it's been like what 3 years or 2 to 3 years since he's been on the team. Still, every single time he dribbles the ball, like in my mind, I'm just like no,
please God, no.
Yeah, that's fine. Even when he was in his prime and he was a pretty good scorer, he was never a great dribbler. Yeah. That was just not. It was always very like robotic.
Yeah.
And then any thoughts on D'Angelo's bruised ass, for lack of a better term? Like when he went down, it looked pretty bad. What did you guys have instant freakouts, or were you trying to stay calm, or how was that playing out for you?
Instant freakout. Well, like I mean, I'm just used to like all these stupid injuries, like Randle's last year. It felt like I felt the exact same way yesterday that I did when Randle got hurt. I don't know why though, because I mean, I guess the only thing is he fell on his back, which generally is like pretty safe. I guess what there was concern is maybe he fell on his wrist or something when he was trying to break his fall, and I was like, oh, like that would be terrible. And then, but luckily they dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I was not. First off, I was watching the game on a live stream because League Pass, I guess, wasn't carrying the game, and so like once I like heard it, I didn't get to see it. Like I cut the stream off, and I was just that pissed. So like, cut it off. I cut the game off, and I didn't tweet for about 10-15 minutes, and I just followed my timeline. And then once I heard it was a bruised glute, kind of exhaled a bit, but it brought me back, I guess, a little bit to last year. I was like, come on, not again. Like,
yeah.
But that's just sort of the feeling that I had. But I'm still a little bit worried, a little cautious, because you just never know. You would hope that he will be ready to play as soon as possible, but you prefer that they probably take it safe with him at this point. But I'm just happy that there were no breaks, and that fortunately that he was able to, get up and like walk at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that he was able to get off under his own power was like encouraging in the short term, like right when it happened. So like that was at least good news. Well, I mean he had teammates helping him, but like that was at least a good sign that he was able to walk a little bit. I think after he was kind of writhing there on the ground and then not moving, and it just didn't look good combined with the fall and all of that. But thankfully it sounds like this is probably going to be a minor thing. Yeah.
I was going to say, I have to mention, I was doing homework during the game, and when Bass got hurt, I saw a guy laying on the ground. I thought it was Randle initially.
That was me. That was me. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, first.
I didn't see him fall. I just saw like the headshot.
Yeah, and that one looked bad. Like I thought that, and they still like he somehow Bass went back in the game, and then now he's getting an MRI. And like Eric Pincus, I think, said that it could be ominous, even though I think it was his speculation. But still, like if that turns into like a major injury and he went back and like played after it, like that's a bad look for the training staff.
Yeah. Well, you got to, especially in the preseason. There's just no point.
Yeah.
Like, just there are other guys that need minutes anyway that you need to evaluate,
Hmm.
and
Robert
so
Upshaw.
yeah. Who's that?
Need to get into that
I don't know who that is. I don't think. Yeah, he has not. Robert Upshaw is one guy. That's one thing that I've been disappointed with about during the preseason so far is that we haven't really gotten to see Upshaw. Though it was nice that like Frazier got in the game last night, so we got to see him a little bit at least. But yeah, Upshaw's got to get like if there's a time for him to get in there and get some minutes, like you would think this is it, even if it's only short stints.
Well, there's no like Hibbert when he was with the Pacers, like rarely ever played 30 plus minutes in a game, and now in preseason for some reason he's doing it. And he was in there, I think, he didn't play in overtime. But
He was
played
in there until like about 2 or 3 minutes left in the regulation, I think.
Yeah, and it's like what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get Byron's kind of his rationale that he doesn't want to put guys in for like a 1 minute stretch or a 2 minute stretch and take them out, and he would rather play them extended. But it's like, dude, you're playing like our starting center 32 minutes on the second preseason game, bro. Like, relax.
Yeah, like Gobert, I don't think played after the first quarter.
He played 12 minutes, and then he subs in Zachary like twice in both games, and it's like, dude, we've seen this guy for 3 years. Like, we know what he does. Like, we know what he brings to the table. Like, give another guy a look.
Say some people find that I lost the word. Some people find that consistency and the that what you're going to get. Some people, I'm not going to mention names, but some people find that comforting.
Yeah.
Are you shooting that at me?
No.
Oh, yeah, I think
I wasn't going to name it, but it was directed at Anthony.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, that's not something that I mean. I love Zachary. Like, I love him as a bench dancer and cheerleader and all that, and occasional spot minutes guy. But yeah, that's not someone you want playing.
And you're the only Robert Zachary jersey owner that I think exists.
It's not mine. It's my little brother's. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what they all say. But whatever.
I'm holding it for a friend. Okay.
Yeah, you've had it for what 4 years now.
Yeah.
He keeps forgetting to pick it up.
Yeah, basically. Okay, but actually we were going back to Hibbert a little bit. One of the more interesting things to happen in last night's game, other than Randle playing well and Russell getting injured, I guess that's not interesting so much as worrying, but notable is I guess a better word, was Hibbert and Trevor Booker getting into a little bit of a scuffle, and it seems like lately there's been kind of an outbreak of fights among around the NBA. There's been, we had Hibbert and Booker going at each other in a preseason game last night. We got Stephen A. Smith threatening Kevin Durant. Matt Barnes is apparently driving to Derek Fisher's girlfriend or his ex-wife's house to fight Derek Fisher.
Wow.
And yeah, so like it's clearly become a thing. So I was curious about. I'm springing this on you. I didn't give you guys much time to prepare for this, but I'm wondering what maybe your best hot take regarding the fighting situation around the league is, or any of those fights is specifically.
All right. Well, the Fisher Barnes one. My hot take is that all those years that Fisher didn't get past the ball playing with Kobe just made him like this super vicious, super aggressive person. And then same with Barnes. The 2 years Barnes played with Kobe, he just didn't get the ball and it just pissed him off. So now they're just looking to fight someone and they just happen to run into each other. So it's all Kobe's fault, like everything else.
It's all Kobe's fault.
That's why he's ranked 93rd, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up with one on the spot right here. So I'm gonna go with Hibbert, Big Daddy Roy, and he's had this reputation and perception that he's kind of like the soft big guy, 7'2". He falls a lot, but I think that this new change of scenery is going to really, really allow him to sort of revamp his reputation. I think he's going to be one of the real tough guys in the NBA this year. There's this term, a fake tough guy. And I think Roy is going to reestablish himself. He's going to become one of the premier enforcers in basketball. And last night I think we got a little bit of a glimpse of that. I like seeing him, get hype and get energetic when it comes to being an enforcer and protecting his teammates. The Lakers haven't had something like that, I would say, since Bynum when he blasted like J.J. Barrera. And so I think that Roy's trying to assume that role, and I think he can do it this year.
So J.J. Barea, watch out. Do not drive to the rim while Hibbert
On
is down
Roy.
there. He is
Nobody
taking
mess
up
with
the
big
long
men.
legacy of big men wearing 17 for the Lakers, and it's just not going to end well for you. You got to watch out. But yeah, I think as far as if he wanted to be an enforcer, I don't think anybody on the team around the team would have a problem with that. I think that would be something that's kind of been missing these last couple of years, and might have like a good effect on the young guys, having like that kind of bully to stick up for them a little bit.
Well, and this year they'll have Meta ready to go. Someone causes trouble, he gets in there, throws an elbow, sits down, and then sits down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't know, when I was watching last night, I was sort of thinking, I was like, man, if this team sort of embraced like a bully mentality, like they actually might be able to be a little bit more fun to watch. Like I was like excited watching them try to play tough and get in a little bit of physical altercations, and I don't know if that's sort of the identity that they're trying to get. That definitely like something Scott-esque, like something he would want them to be like a modern day Bad Boys like type of team that rough riders and all that type of stuff. But it was fun to watch last night for a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's fun to have a bunch of guys that clearly like each other and that want to stand up for each other.
And that are actually good.
Yeah, and that too. And will actually be on the team for more than 1 year.
Yeah.
Right.
But mine is kind of similar to Ryan Kelly's. My hot take. It's going a little bit of a different direction, though. I also am ready to blame Kobe for the Barnes and Fisher fight, but I think that it was a false flag event orchestrated by Kobe to distract people from his 93rd NBA rank. Like, he saw everybody was talking about it on Twitter, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to leak that Barnes and Fisher got into a fight at Barnes' ex-wife's house, and just like made up this crazy story to distract people from where he was ranked among NBA players, so they stopped talking about it.
I could see that.
Of course.
Yeah. It's in play for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mamba mentality.
All right, so I think that now that we've gotten our hot takes, wait,
one more hot take.
Oh, you got one more?
Yeah, I have to stick up for a fellow Ryan Kelly. His hair isn't bad. Like, you saw that quickness boost that he had when he drove into the lane. Like, that's probably because of his hair. So you'll just have to lay off that.
No, you're crazy. His hair's an abomination.
No, it gives him in 2K when you wear
the
like
worst haircut in the league.
Like in 2K, when you wear a certain pair of shoes, you get a vertical boost or something. He gets a quickness boost, and it's paying off. He just needs a shooting boost now. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, but
hey, I think it was his wife was tweeting at the Silver Screen and Roll account the other night saying like, you got to let yourself be free or something. Like when Ben made a joke about his hair. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if she approves, we gotta just kind of let it go.
I like it. You can't not like his hair and then like Sasha Vujicic's hair back in the day. So,
wow.
I'm making some good points here. So
Kelly's is really that bad, man. Like,
I disagree. I think it looks good.
Okay, well, since you think it looks so good, I fully expect you to come with your hair like that on the next podcast.
I'm growing it out right now. I'm a month and a half without a haircut. What do you think I'm doing that for?
All right, cool. Tomorrow night, when we are on the Silver Screen and Roll podcast, I fully expect you to wear the hair tie.
Yeah, I just bought one, actually, right before we got on air.
All right.
You'll see it tomorrow.
Okay, well, that was a nice tease. That's how we get the viewers to tune in. Okay. So I think that about wraps it up for us on the Lakers Outsiders podcast. Unless do either of you guys have anything you want to plug? Anything going on that we should be looking for in the next couple days?
Follow BleacherReport.com and
right.
at Bleacher Report on Twitter.
I have a feeling if they're watching this podcast, they are probably already following Bleacher Report.
Yeah,
That
I
is
am.
correct.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, Ryan Kelly, you got anything for us? This is going to be really
Um,
confusing to the iTunes people. They're going to think that I'm delusionally interviewing Ryan Kelly, but
um, a couple of days ago, there was a Vine on Twitter, and Steve Novak hit a game-winning three. He up-faked and got his defender up in the air, swished it. Didn't even have to do with a title belt because at this point it's expected. So just if the Thunder make a deep run, like it's not because of that Durant guy or whoever that Westbrook guy is. Like it's because of Steve. I don't know his middle name, but Steve Novak.
Steve, the
I didn't even
basketball
know he was
god,
in the
Novak.
league still.
Yeah. Excuse me?
I didn't even know he was in the league still.
Oh, he just owns the league. That's why. All right, but that's all I'm saying is just watch. He's gonna have a big year. They might not use him until the playoffs. It's not because he's not good or anything. That's not why he doesn't play. They're just saving him.
Right.
Okay, you heard it here first. The Thunder are saving secret Weapon X Steve Novak for the playoffs.
Yep.
And he's gonna be a crucial contributor to their title run apparently. And if you cannot tell, I'm being very sarcastic.
I'm not.
All right, so thanks for coming on, guys. It's always a blast.
No problem at all.
No problem.